cut technique is a key component of our think backwards philosophy of mixing. We use a simple 5-step process which teaches you to take out what sounds bad instead of trying to boost what sounds good. Why? Because if you don't, the bad part of the sounds will still be there, and you'll just be trying to cover them up. For those of you with lots of EQ experience, what this method really does is give you a convenient way to remove some energy from the critical low-mid range between 100 and 500 Hertz. When we take out bad sounds, what we're really removing is bad resonances that don't improve a particular sound. What you'll notice in your mix is that you get better separation between instruments and voices. Your mix will tighten up, and high end will magically appear from nowhere. The cut technique is performed on a sweepable low-mid EQ because we focus on taking away energy in the 100 to 500 Hertz frequency range, which is the range that makes it difficult to distinguish sounds from each other. If you're doing this on a PA system and not a computer, set the master fader lower than you normally would, because this technique makes annoying and obnoxious sounds. You can practice this technique on a single channel too, but eventually you need to be able to do it on a live mix using every channel. So please practice this at rehearsals. Okay, first start by connecting some headphones to your mixer or computer and press the PFL or solo button to solo a particular sound in the headphones. Step 1. Turn the EQ gain all the way up. This will make the bad frequencies really obnoxious. As you practice this technique, you'll be able to do it quicker and with less and less gain, and eventually you can do it live. Step 2. Set the frequency control to 100 Hertz and turn it up slowly from 100 to 500 Hertz. Step 3. Listen carefully for the frequency that sounds worst. If you think there are several frequencies that sound equally bad, pick the lowest one. By the way, I've noticed that 250 Hertz and 500 Hertz almost always sound bad. I'm not really sure why. And if I think they sound equally bad on a particular sound, I would pick 250. Step 4. Move the EQ frequency control to the worst sounding frequency, or the lowest one if there was a tie for worst. Now step 5, because you started by turning the EQ gain all the way up, move the EQ gain control backwards to 0, and then take away 3 or 4 dB by moving the EQ gain control to -3 or -4. What you're doing is reducing the bad resonances from each sound in your mix and leaving room for other good sounds in the critical low-mid range. Now lather, rinse, and repeat on other channels. Listen as I demonstrate on one channel. By using this EQ technique alone, your mixes will sound cleaner and more focused. And even though you've only changed the low-mid range, you'll notice more high frequencies and crispness in your mix. I use this EQ technique in every mix I do. Sometimes it's the only EQ I do on a channel. I believe you can get 80% of the way to a great mix by only doing this technique. In fact, I want you to start thinking 80% of a good mix is EQ, and only 20% has to do with volume. I know this sounds crazy, but I guarantee you it works. Just try it. I'm Greg Hill for AVGenius.